Hey, welcome back. So today we're going to dig into a really fascinating puzzle. Have you ever wondered why a scientist can move halfway across the world and their expertise is instantly understood, but a celebrated artist from that exact same city might have to start their entire career over from scratch? Okay, so look at this. This slide just nails the problem perfectly. On the one hand, you've got a universal truth. Science travels, right? A math formula, an engineering principle, it just works no matter where you are. But then you look at the other side, and it's a completely different reality. An artist who is just as skilled, just as accomplished, finds that their value, their reputation, it just doesn't transfer. It kind of, poof, evaporates at the border. So what is going on here? Why is it that some skills cross borders like they have a passport, while other forms of genius get completely lost in translation? The simple answer, and you're going to want to remember this phrase, is that not all expertise travels equally. So let's unpack exactly why that is. To really get to the bottom of this, we first have to figure out what's actually being lost during that journey. It's something incredibly powerful, but it's also completely invisible. And that invisible thing has a name: context. Now, the big idea here is that context isn't just some background noise. It's a living, breathing ecosystem. It's the shared language, the cultural inside jokes, the historical moments that an entire audience just gets without you having to explain it. This is the very soil that an artist's work grows in, and it's the one thing you absolutely cannot pack in a suitcase. This comparison really drives the point home. A scientist's knowledge is portable because its language, math, physics, logic is universal. An algorithm works the same in Mumbai as it does in Miami, but an artist, their value is deeply, deeply woven into that local context. And when that context is gone, their work can suddenly become, unreadable. And listen, this next part is so important. When an artist struggles to rebuild their life in a new country, it has nothing to do with their talent or their work ethic. This is not about one person failing. It's about a system that is failing to see and translate their value. And this loss, it's not just the artist's problem. It's a cost that we all end up paying. When these voices go silent, our whole society loses a piece of its cultural memory. We lose these amazing bridges that connect us to different histories, different ways of seeing the world. Our public conversation gets a little bit smaller, a little less interesting, and honestly, the world we leave behind just ends up being culturally poorer because of it. So, if the problem is built into the system, then the solution has to start with a huge shift in how we think about it. And that brings us to this core idea, a philosophy that's called the seed. The whole solution starts with a simple but really profound truth. It's an idea that has to be planted before any real, lasting change can grow. It's called the seed. The main idea here is that you can't just throw programs or money at this problem and expect it to work. Action has to follow belief. The very first step is getting people to truly understand the core of the problem. That shared understanding, that's the fertile soil. And without it, any solution you try to plant is just going to wither. And really, it all boils down to this incredibly clear, simple formula. Number one, you have to truly understand the problem of lost context. Number two, you have to believe that fixing it actually matters. And only then, only after those first two steps, can you effectively support a real solution. Understand, believe, support. That's the key. Okay, so we've got the philosophy, but what does this look like in the real world? How does this translate into actual action? Well, let's take a look at how an organization called VANSHON is taking this seed idea and using it to rebuild that entire ecosystem for immigrant artists. I mean, their mission statement couldn't be any clearer, right? It's a direct, powerful answer to this whole problem of lost context. They're not just trying to offer a little help. They are actively working to restore the very ecosystem that migration shatters. So, what do? Their main strategy is building what they call art parks. And let's be super clear on this, these are not shelters or temporary housing. You have to think of them as living, breathing, cultural infrastructures. Whole communities designed from the ground up to give an artist all the support they need to rebuild their professional life. This table just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you see everything an artist loses in the move: their community, their audience, their creative space, their professional network. And then on the right, you see exactly how every single piece of an art park is designed to fix that. Lost your audience? Boom, here are galleries and event spaces. Need a place to work? Here's a fully equipped studio. It's a systematic solution to a systematic problem. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most important part of this whole thing. A problem this big needs more than just one organization to solve it. It needs all of us. So what's our role? How do we help this idea grow? Remember that simple formula from earlier? Well, here it is again, but this time it's our call to action. First, understand this unique challenge. Really get it. Second, believe that helping an artist rebuild their context isn't just charity. It's a vital investment in our shared culture. And third, support the work. Advocate for it. Spread the word. Help build that ecosystem. Because in the end, it all comes down to this. This is about so much more than just art. It's about what kind of society we want to live in, one that's rich and full of diverse perspectives, one that's connected by stories and histories from all over the world. The bottom line is, we simply cannot afford to let these voices fade away. So the real question is, what are we going to do to make sure they're heard?